Hello, my people. Welcome back to the channel. It's Luana, and today I'm here to offer you an intervention. Yes, an intervention. Stop scaring yourself. You already saw the title, you know what it's about. We are going to get into something that we all have done, especially in the past 2 years or so with all the tragic things going on in the world. Why do we scare ourselves? Unconsciously, why do we doom scroll through Instagram, Facebook, Reddit, sometimes for hours on end? And, some people would say they get kind of an adrenaline rush from it. Others will tell me, oh, I just found myself there and I didn't know how to pull myself back out of that rabbit hole. Well, today in this video, we are going to go behind the scenes and look at this from a body brain level. Let's get into it. We are covering two main things in this video. The first is why you may be wired to scare yourself. It's a very common thing, and I do believe over these past 18 months, everyone's wiring for being on edge, anxiousness, depression, and fear has heightened. So we're going to look at why that may be. And the second part of the video will be on the long-term health effects, mental, physical, emotional health effects that can occur if we continue scaring ourselves long term. Why may you be wired for scaring yourself? We need to look at how we respond to stress, how our body and brain respond to our environment and to stress. So if you have ever been to therapy before, any kind really, you probably have heard of the HPA axis. H, hypothalamus, P, pituitary, right behind our eyes here, midbrain, and the A is adrenal. Adrenal is in our torso, right on top of those kidneys there. So the HPA axis is basically a neurobiological system. That means neurons, circuitry firing together to look for danger, to keep us safe so that we can survive as humans and to keep us safe no matter what. It is constantly scanning for perceived danger, real danger, or, if we have unhealed stress responses in our body, it doesn't have to look far to find a perceived threat or sense of threat. So our HPA axis, if it's activated often, it's normal to feel on edge or frozen and go towards doom scrolling or comparison, or just more stressful engagements with life. It's like we wear these glasses of fear, and that's how we interact with the world. So the HPA axis, every human has it, right? Even if you have had an adrenal or kidney removed, you still have some part of that circuitry. So if there's a little imbalance or disruption there, the stress chemicals will flood the body, and it is more likely that you are probably scaring yourself or looking for reasons to continue that circuitry. And it's not a cognitive thing, so please don't blame yourself. It's just that neurobiological wiring that knows that pathway best, right? So when we talk about neuroplasticity, it can go both ways. We can teach our brain to learn new things, and our brain is also wired for what it knows best, so it adapts. If we're always living under fear or under stress, even if you grew up with someone yelling in the household, these kinds of things, then that circuitry may be alive and well. And we have this other part of our brain called the amygdala. It's different from the A in the HPA axis. That's adrenal. This is our amygdala, which is in our brain. It acts as a filing cabinet. I like to think of it as a filing cabinet. So it stores all the memories that we've had over our life. And it has a section for positive memories, enjoyable, safe memories, times where you felt safe, connected, held. It has neutral experiences. It's just there. And then it has negative and fear-based. When I say negative, I just mean fear-based, or perceived threat, high survival energy states. So that's the three kind of categories I like to explain as how the amygdala works. So it's like a memory card on your phone. It stores that information. So if you've had experiences in your past where there's been trauma involved, there's been high, stressful, or terrifying events happening, guess what is going to take up most of the space in that filing cabinet? The fear experiences. So it makes sense then, when you're living your everyday life, in the present moment. I'm filming this in August 2021, right? It's normal for your system to default, your brain to default, that amygdala, to the fear part of the filing cabinet, because that's the biggest part, right? If there's only a small amount of neutral events, a small amount of, enjoyable, safe experiences in your history, it makes sense that your circuitry, your neurobiological circuitry, will default to the fearful, filing cabinet, right? So this is why we sometimes scare ourselves and find it hard to stop. Or a lot of people call it spiraling, right? We spiral into, well, I should have done this, I could have said that, if I would have done this, it would have gone differently. These kinds of thoughts are so common for many, many good humans like you, or people that you may know in your life. So hopefully that's helpful in understanding why we tend to scare ourselves, or can talk for long periods of time about things that are frightening but we have no control of, or don't actually directly affect our lives. A fond memory I have of working with this person who we just started working together, and I generally give homework to my private good humans in their sessions, and I asked, what are you watching on Netflix or wherever you're streaming stuff from? And this person shared they were watching these really tragic movies, good in terms of storyline, plotline, but the whole plot line and characters were going through absolute tragedy, devastation, loss, grief. And this person was wondering why they always felt down and out and sad and depressed. We chatted, hey, what would it be like to just spend this week between now and next session watching, when you're done your work day, watching something funny, something light. There's lots of kids shows or animal shows on these streaming platforms. What would it be like to watch something where you laugh, where you have to laugh, right? And this person did that, and throughout our time working together, she would kind of slide back down the hill a little bit and watch the more devastating and sad stuff, dark stuff. Oh, and we check in, and then she'd tell me, hey, maybe I should watch something a bit lighter this week. That's just an example of something that we all do. We all like TV shows, movies, and they affect how we feel. They affect how we feel, or else we wouldn't be watching them, right? So take that into account. If you're someone that is generally drawn to one genre, see if you try something different and see how it makes you feel. That is one example of how someone moved from scaring themselves to becoming aware that they're doing it and driving that fear train, right? Because we do have a certain amount of control to build our safety map, our sense of safety. If we have had tragic experiences and loss in the past, we will have a well-defined danger map. And danger map means that neurobiological circuitry is primed to look for the danger in things rather than look for the safety in things. So when we talk about relationships, we always, as a culture, oh, what are the red flags? That's a red flag. That's what kind of mapping do you think that is using that language? Comment below. What do you think? Do a little emoji of a red flag, or I don't know if we have a green flag. But anyways, it's a danger mapping point of view on life, right? So I encourage you to look for the green flags in relationships, the green flags in your day-to-day life of safety, what feels comforting, what helps you have more ease of breath, what helps you feel more whole. Getting your safety map to grow, because that safety map, if we go back to the amygdala in our brains, the safety map is what we would like to expand on, or safety or neutrality, right? We have neutral experiences in that filing cabinet in our amygdala. We're going to have more capacity to be easeful in life, therefore not scare ourselves. So I hope that is helpful. Let's move on to part 2. What happens if you continue to scare yourself? Over years and years, what eventually happens is illness happens. Gabor wrote an amazing book called When the Body Says No, right? If you haven't read that book, I'll link it below. Go check it out. It's basically demonstrating the link between illness and disease and these fear-based experiences that happen in life. Another great book that I recommend often is called Scared Sick by Karr-Morse, and she basically marries immunology, endocrinology, and disease and illness in adulthood with fear and being scared in childhood to adult illnesses. So once we run on fear and survival energies and that danger map our whole life, we will get sick. Well, autoimmune diseases come up, fibromyalgia, IBS, anxiety disorders, panic disorders, chronic depression, cancers come up, right? Because that energy, that survival energy, manifests in the body as something, right? As, a panic disorder is often a classic tie to inescapable attack, which, if you haven't watched my videos on the nervous system and how trauma gets stuck in the body, I encourage you to go watch those videos. So I hope this video was helpful. I know it's not an easy one to watch, but at the same time, I think it's so important to talk about why we need to stop scaring ourselves, because we live in a culture that's addicted to fear, addicted to bad news, addicted to watching things that are really out of our control and tragic. I hope this video gives you a sense of empowerment, that you can, be in the driver's seat and put down your phone or the scrolling situation, wherever that is for you, and take a walk outside, listen to the birds, listen to some music. Do something for yourself that feels good, that feels nourishing. Make a nice drink, take a bath, chat with your friend about a fond memory that you have. These are the pieces that will help build your safety map. And like always, if you would like to dive deeper, building this up, your inner safety map, come on over to luanarose.com. You can do the online self-study programs there, or if we have space in the live classes, you're welcome to join those. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, my good human. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you very, very soon.